Welcome to another video tutorial from 3dgameartguru.com. Today I'm working in Affinity Designer version 3.22 to show you the basics of the power duplicate. Let's start with the rectangle. You can pick any other shape, object or text. Select the object and go to Edit Duplicate Selection. It creates a duplicate. I rotate it slightly. When I repeat the duplicate, the same rotation will be applied to all duplicates. This inherited change to the duplicates also applies to multiple objects. I select all my rectangles, move them, duplicate them, and the copies are spaced evenly. With the rectangles, I just drag them. You can also move using the transform panel. I duplicate the circle, add 100 pixels in the transform panel, duplicate again, and the circles are spaced 100 pixels apart. The next object will be moved and skewed. The skewing increases with each duplicate. Let's do the same thing with a move and a scale. The star will be moved sideways and scaled at the same time. The duplicates get smaller and smaller. So does the distance. The power duplicate works the changes relative to the object's size. Let's try power duplicating and coloring. The triangle is moved. I give it a red tint, duplicate it, shift the red to orange, and the duplicates will remain orange. I have to manually change the color of each object to make a change there. The power duplicates work on position, scale, rotation, and skew, and I can combine all those in the same power duplicate. One of the common issues when power duplicating is the scaling. It's relative to the object size. That means if I scale the star down, power duplicate it, I get a nice effect, but the spacing between the stars is no longer even. In order to create evenly spaced objects, I use the contour tool instead. I create a duplicate, set a contour to a negative value, which makes it an inset, duplicate the object with the contour, change the value, duplicate again. I have to manually change the value for each object to get the even spacing. It would be nice if Affinity Designer would have a morph function which would serve the same purpose. An alternative to the power duplicate is the move panel. By pressing return on a selected object, it brings up the move duplicate panel. In here I can assign the distance, tell the tool that it's supposed to be duplicates, and set the number of copies. This way you can exactly define the distance, rotation, scaling or skewing of your duplicates. Just like the power duplicate, it works on a single object as well as multiple objects. I select the first row of circles, bring up the move duplicate panel again, and create the next row. This makes it easy to create evenly spaced patterns. The only problem is that these are all individual shapes. If I want to make changes to the circles, it will just change a single circle. I like to combine the power duplicates with symbols. Creating a symbol first, I turn my circle into a symbol. In the layer panel, it shows a symbol with the circle inside, and then duplicate the symbol to create my pattern. I can now change the color, shape, or content of the symbol, and all symbols will be changed automatically. I use this combination of power duplicate and symbols in a lot of my videos. The simple flowers, the mandala, or the line patterns are all based on symbols that then get duplicated. If you haven't looked into symbols yet, I highly recommend doing so. They are a lot of fun and extremely versatile. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you did, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and let me know what you want to see on this channel, and I will see you again soon.